Hi, we're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. Just giving everybody a heads up. Thank you all for coming. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming. My name is Jared Frank, and I'm the Director of Operations for Illini Solar Car. I am so excited to have all you guys here. I want to remind everybody that there's cookies in the back if you haven't grabbed it already, and also on the tables you'll find stickers and postcards that you can feel free to take. And if you entered the raffle, we'll be announcing those winners after the speeches and before the Q&A panel. Thank you all for coming, and on that note, I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker, Jonathan Makala.
Good afternoon. It is great to see everybody here. My name is Jonathan Makala, and I'm a professor of electrical and computer engineering, and I also serve as the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs in the Granger College of Engineering. And I'm thrilled to be here today to celebrate all of your accomplishments, remarkable hard work, and dedication shown by this talented group of undergraduate students, over 150 strong, in designing, building, testing, and soon racing Brizo in the American Solar Challenge. Over the past 17 years on this campus, I have repeatedly been reminded of how amazing our students are, and am continually impressed by what you all do every day. It is simply incredible, and the Illini Solar Car is one of the best examples of what Granger engineers and students across our campus can accomplish when they come together and take on what many would seem to be an audacious goal. I have come to learn that it is in our DNA as faculty, students, and staff at this great university to tackle the difficult problems, solutions to which will change our world for the better. And I can think of no challenge more pressing than reducing our dependence on fossil fuels and the need to increase our ability to harness renewables to help slow and eventually reverse climate change. Of course, there is no single solution to this problem, as it will take a combination of science, engineering, public policy, and the actual will to enact lasting changes to make a meaningful difference. Still, the existence of Brizo and its ability to travel from Missouri to Idaho, powered entirely by the sun, and the fact that it is a result of the ingenuity and perseverance of our students, gives me confidence that your generation is up to the challenge. The next couple of weeks will be incredibly exciting for you. I must admit, I chuckled to myself upon learning that this year's road challenge follows the iconic Oregon Trail, my knowledge of which was largely shaped in grade school, playing the video game of the same name. My recollections from the game are of many a harrowing adventure, and I hope your experience, while adventurous, will involve far fewer snake bites and less hunting and dysentery than I experienced while playing the game. So be safe and drive responsibly, but also remember to have fun and enjoy the experience. I know you will create a lifetime of memories. While I suspect you will achieve great success on the roads ahead, know that you have already accomplished so much to make it here today. I am personally looking forward to updates on how the competition progresses, and I'm looking forward to an orange and blue victory. Know, however, that regardless of the outcome, we are very proud of you. Congratulations once again on all you've accomplished and for creating such an amazing solar-powered car. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you for the kind words. Up next is Distinguished Professor Peter Sauer.
Thank you very much, and welcome again to our new Siebel Design Center. This is my first time in this building, so I appreciate being invited to do this so that I could be here. I also thought maybe we could go higher and ask the provost to come and do this, but he said, no, I'm going to Saudi Arabia. Can't do that. I'm actually here on behalf of Arijit Banerjee, who is the official faculty advisor of the Solar Car project. He's a young guy, and he's really good. So you are very blessed to have him as your advisor. The previous solar cars and hybrid cars, all those competitions dating back to the 90s, 1990, I believe, had Phil Krein as their advisor. And Phil is still here. So if you ever need help with anything, and Arijit's not around or Arijit can't quite help you, come and see Phil Krein. He's in ECEB. In fact, he was the engineer that supervised the design criterias to make it a platinum LEED building. And he does solar cars, he does everything. So anyway, that's a plug for Phil. And he loves to volunteer his help. So he'll be happy to come over and give you some advice if you want, or just talk to you in his office. This solar car venture really started, I guess, in the 2014. It's not that old. It was preceded by the hybrid electric car projects, which also included a race. And the updates on these races that we get is really interesting. And it's amazing how Illinois always comes in right up there among the top people. I don't know that we've ever taken first prize of everything. We've won first prize in some things like design or performance, but never the whole thing, and maybe never the race. I don't think we ever came in first. But that's okay. It's an awesome project, and I say it was started really by the auto people, the auto industry, ECE department, and the Department of Energy that sought this idea out to have competition among universities. And they have had huge success. And part of the reason it has become so popular is because it brings not just engineers together that have to do different things, not even just electrical engineers together, but it brings in the computer engineers, the mechanicals, the everything. And then on top of that, it goes to the rest of campus, economics, management. It's like running a company. The student team has to know how to do advertising, marketing. You have to raise money. Everybody raises money. It's part of life. But you have here on campus the actual people that are here to do that for a living. And so having them on your team is a great asset, and it mimics the actual world of a company. So you're getting things that we can't give you in the classroom. We don't teach this kind of stuff. I don't think there's even a class on any of these competitions as such. I guess you might get credit for them somehow with projects, but they are so valuable. In addition to the technical benefits, you learn to cooperate as a team. And that's sometimes the hardest part. The human interaction is such an important thing. It's important in your project, it's important in life, and it's something that will last you forever if you can figure it out. Some specific facts about this team: the alumni of this solar car team has gone on to work at top countries like John Deere, Apple, Texas Instruments, and the team excels in school. I believe the average reported GPA of the team is like a 3.7. So that's awesome. And I really think it shows a quality that you have accumulated to do this. Staff and faculty in the ECE department have contributed to the project. It takes money to run a project and to do research space and project space like this. And our ECE department has always supported it. We have affiliates programs with industry that support it with cash and with internships. And what is better is they hire you. They hire you when you graduate because they know who you are. You've been on this team and they know who you have worked with, and they say, wow, that's really good experience. So, the time spent on the projects is valuable for the students. It also consumes a major amount of their time, your time, and effort. It's not easy to do this kind of a project and still go to class, and still study, and do homework, and take tests, and get a 3.7. So that's amazing when I think about it, how you can do that. We encourage all of our students to work on some kind of a team project. It builds character, it builds leadership skills that are so valuable. Industry loves it when they hear that you've done it. We have had students that apply to grad school after serving on one of these teams, and it's their work on the project that demonstrated what they can do and made them a good candidate for graduate school. So they go on and get a master's or a PhD. So I am retired, so I don't do these things every day. I only one day a week, and this happens to be my day. But I congratulate you on having made it to this point, and I send you off with a great wish of success. And it's a hard competition, and the people are fierce. MIT, Rolla, Missouri, I know has won it in times, and so has MIT and Wisconsin, Madison, all of our neighbors. But if you feel good about it, you'll do better. And so thank you for inviting me, and I wish you all the best in the competition.
Thank you for that. And yes, he's correct. We've never won the competition, but hopefully that's going to change this summer. Up next is our current Illini Solar Car president, Alex Camille.
Thank you, Jared. My name is Alex Camille, rising junior in electrical engineering, and somehow or another, the current president of Illini Solar Car. I was also last year's electrical lead, and before that, just a freshman trying to find my way on the team. I remember when I first joined the University of Illinois as a freshman. I'm an out-of-state student, and I didn't know anyone at first. And because I had the unfortunate luck of joining during the big COVID year, I had no way to meet other students or do anything outside of my dorm room, as all my classes were online. However, I came into school with the goal of truly doing something with my college career by joining some sort of engineering team. And pretty much the moment I got to campus, I started looking into what the university had to offer. I have always had an interest in electric vehicles, so I started my search there. As I looked into the various electrical vehicle teams at this school, one in particular really stood out to me, Illini Formula Electric. Just kidding, of course. I mean Illini Solar Car. When I saw Illini Solar Car, I saw a team that truly cared about education, sustainability, and the small task of building a road-legal solar car and driving it thousands of miles. When I learned that the team competed in cross-country races across the United States and even Australia, I knew that I wanted to be part of it and help build the best solar car possible. I ended up joining the electrical team as a clueless freshman who knew next to nothing about electrical engineering, let alone how to actually apply it to building and racing a solar car. That changed quickly, however, as I dedicated much of what used to be my free time to solar car. I started to go to the garage at Linview to learn and help out whenever and however I could. As a new member, I wasn't able to contribute much beyond physical labor, like soldering circuit boards or helping with random tasks, or even sanding. So much sanding, in fact, as when I joined, Brizo was essentially no more than a carbon fiber shell sitting on the floor of the garage, and it needed substantial sanding before it was ready to be wrapped and liveried. Because I was such an active new member, I was one of the people selected for the American Solar Challenge 2021 race team. Part of being a race team member meant that I had to dedicate as much time as I could over the summer preparing Brizo for the upcoming race. I made the decision to come back to campus early in the summer and spend the rest of my time before the race preparing the car, myself, and the team to compete with Brizo. Spending the summer on campus was such a surreal experience. A year before that, I didn't even know solar cars were a thing, let alone something college students built and competed with. Yet here I was, dedicating my entire summer to one. When I returned to campus in May, Breeza was in a lesson-ready state. It had no brakes, no steering, and none of the electrical system was in the car. If you told someone that we would be driving across the country in less than 2 months, they would think you were crazy. But due to the hard work, dedication, and seemingly endless labor of our wonderful team, we were able to get the car on the road and went on to achieve 3rd place in the Formula Sun Grand Prix and 4th in the American Solar Challenge. Throughout the next year, the team's dedication to Breeza continued. Our post-race debrief yielded a plethora of tasks that we needed to accomplish to mitigate issues from ASC 2021. And this past year's weekends and late nights have been full of solutions. Work has continued into the summer, where our new race team has been hard at work continuing those improvements, testing them, and preparing for the challenge ahead. What were meetings earlier in the semester became work sessions at Lindenview. There has been a learning curve, but the way I've seen my teammates work together these past weeks gives me great confidence that we can do even better at this American Solar Challenge. I have nothing but faith in my team and Breezo, and I believe that we will be incredibly successful in the coming weeks. But enough about this summer. Looking beyond just this race into the future, I hold great optimism going into the 2023 Bridgestone World Solar Challenge. On the stages of production of what we have dubbed Project C, which I am confident will be the most unique and efficient Illini Solar Car yet. Although finishing up a brand new car in about a year from now may seem difficult, and it absolutely is, my experience from these last 2 years makes me optimistic for the future and confident that our 3rd car will be ready and competitive in Australia. Our success with Breezo gives me strength to motivate team members when we are challenged by the design and manufacturing of a brand new car, strength to motivate myself when I run to the rigors of managing our team as president, strength and confidence to have the ability to meet our timeline and get a new car on the road. When I consider the challenges we surpassed last summer, I can't count how many times we truly believed that we were not going to race. Like finishing a car mere weeks before a major race, all kinds of paperwork and regulatory challenges, figuring out our roll cage wasn't compliant from a comment on one of our social media posts, thank you, Brian, and discovering our canopy wasn't the appropriate material. I could go on and on about these things. And yet, we still raced, and we were really successful. Our team was able to come together and do real engineering, finding solutions to problems, even if that meant coming up with something in hours rather than weeks. All in all, I'm very excited to be leading the team this year. We are at a critical moment where all the labor of the past year comes to fruition and the cycle begins once more with the next car. To my teammates, working with you has truly been the center of my college experience, and I know we can win this race. I know we can make it and perform well in Australia next year and beyond. 3 weeks from now, I know that we can be at that finish line in Twin Falls, trophy in hand. For all my teammates that I see getting discouraged or losing hope over new improvements not working out or certain systems of the car not functioning as intended, just keep in mind last year at this point, despite having even larger issues, we still came out with a podium finish. There is no reason why we can't do even better this coming year. I just want to end by saying thank you to all who came out today, whether you're here with us in person or watching on our live stream. Thank you to all our current members and alumni, our friends and family, our supporters within the university, and our corporate sponsors. And this upcoming race, I'll be making sure all my teammates get as much sleep as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And for our last speech, I'd like to welcome our race team captain, Tara D'Souza.
Hello, my name is Tara D'Souza. I recently graduated last month with a degree in electrical engineering after 4 years at Illinois and on the Illini Solar Car team. When we were deciding who would speak during today's event, I was chosen as the team's resident old person. I'm not quite sure how that makes me feel at 22 years old, but anyways, here I am. I joined Illini Solar Car in 2018 as a freshman at the university. I was hoping to gain technical experience outside of my classes. I had an interest in sustainability, and I was inspired by how impactful the team seemed to its current members. I was excited about the idea of solar racing and being part of the team, but I wasn't quite sure about where I would fit in or how I could contribute. I spent my first semester staring wide-eyed at the older members, trying to soak up as much knowledge as my brain could handle. I remember feeling so accomplished when I could help out in any little way, whether that be holding the probe of a multimeter or flashing some code to a circuit board. My first semester of college, I also struggled greatly with a little something known as imposter syndrome. Prior to starting at Illinois, I had never written a single line of code. I had no idea how to design a circuit, and I certainly couldn't wrap my head around how a group of college students could go about building a road-legal solar car. I would attend every meeting without fail, but I always felt a little bit out of place. Everyone around me seemed so much smarter and more knowledgeable, and I wasn't sure how I would ever be able to contribute. But I stuck with it, partly because I was determined to learn and be a part of the team, and partly because I'm really bad at quitting things. As I rounded out my first semester of college, an application was sent around the team. It read, "Apply to be a part of the 2019 Formula Sun Grand Prix competition team." I didn't think there was a chance I would be chosen, but I couldn't not try. Since I joined, the most exciting part about being on Solar Car seemed to be the races. The older members appeared to have endless stories and fun memories from their experiences on previous competitions. So I gave it a shot. I put a lot of effort into that application. I thought long and hard about each of my responses, proofreading each of my paragraphs, and channeling my inner college applicant. A couple weeks later, I received a message at about 1:30 a.m. Illini Solar Car is not known for working normal hours. It read, "Congratulations, Tara. You have been selected to be an electrical pit crew member for the 2019 Formula Sun Grand Prix." I was equally surprised as I was excited. That summer, I decided to stay on campus ahead of FSGP. I worked a part-time job, and when I wasn't doing that, or sleeping or eating, I was at our team garage. With the help of a few other members, we got Argo, the team's first-generation car, in shape. We fixed up the lights, cleaned up the code, and serviced the battery box. I designed my first printed circuit board that summer for the car, too. It ended up not working, so it wasn't ever used in Argo, but that's besides the point. More than anything, I was so excited to finally feel useful. I was starting to find my place. In June, we drove down to Austin, Texas to compete at the Circuit of the Americas. That race was a huge turning point for me. Seeing Argo drive the course after working on it for so many hours made me incredibly proud. During that race, I learned so much, and I found a true love for the solar car community. I got to see other teams' cars, talk with their members, and share in their experiences. From then on, I knew I had joined the right team for me. In the semesters to come, I continued to work in our electrical group, and I also served in many different positions for the team, from subsystem lead on electrical to team treasurer to our director of operations. Slowly and surely, I was making a place for myself, and with each step, I became more confident in myself and what I was capable of. The summer after my junior year, I attended the 2021 American Solar Challenge, which was Brizo's very first race. The feelings leading up to and during this race were different than those in 2019. While I had worked on Argo, I had helped build Brizo. I had laid up the carbon fiber and sanded it for the car's shells. I had soldered and tested PCBs that made the car move. I even applied Brizo's recognizable stripes to her livery. When Brizo drove across the United States that summer, I truly felt I had played a strong role in getting her there. That brings us to this year. This past year, I had the honor of serving as our team president. I have never considered myself to be a leader. I'm quite shy and soft-spoken. I prefer to listen rather than to speak. but there I found myself leading one of the most ambitious and driven organizations at this university, and I was really enjoying it. It was a challenging year, but also a very rewarding one, and the dedication and innovative spirit of the members of our team kept our goals moving forward and really made my job easy. This brings us to the present. It has come time to race Brizo again in the 2022 American Solar Challenge. This race has a certain finality to it. It will be my last race as a member of the team. It will also be Brizo's last race before we shift to focusing solely on our third-generation vehicle. And as my last race, I hope this will also be our best so far. We have learned from our mistakes last year and are prepared to do even better. Ahead of this race, I find myself in a very different position than last year. I am not just on the race team, I am leading it as our race team captain, which is as exciting as it is nerve-wracking. However, more than anything, I have confidence in this team. Brizo is an incredible car, and she will have 27 talented and dedicated individuals alongside her as she makes her cross-country journey. As we near this final race for me, there is one feeling that emerges above all the excitement, nerves, stress, and anticipation. That feeling is gratitude. I'd like to think that I've given a lot to this team, but those hours do not compare to what I've received in return. While I was only here for a short while in the grand scheme of things, Illini Solar Car will stay with me forever. Through this team, I have learned so much about how to be an engineer, how to work towards a common goal, how to manage deadlines, and how not to give up against all odds. I have also learned so much about myself, that I am capable of being a leader, that I can stand up for myself, and that nobody can make me feel like an imposter but myself. When asked, what is the best part about Illini Solar Car, so many of us will tell you it's the people, and I could not agree more. Through this team, I have also met some of my closest friends that I'm sure will be in my life forever. So for all of this, I want to say thank you. Thank you to our friends, family, and supporters who have joined us here today, and to everyone who couldn't be here with us in person. It is because of you that our mission is possible. Thank you for helping us bring our ideas to fruition. And thank you to my teammates. Every day, I am inspired and impressed by you. I am constantly learning from you all, and I am humbled to have been chosen to lead such a bright and inspiring group of engineers. I'm so proud of the work we've accomplished this year, and I cannot wait to show the world what we can do. Thank you.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Okay, up next, to lighten the mood a little bit, we're going to announce some raffle winners. So we've got 3 sets of prizes. So our top prize is a crew neck plus a signed picture book from all of the race team. Our second tier prize is a hoodie and a hat, both branded Illini Solar Car. And then our third tier prize is a race team uniform shirt. So, winning the race team uniform shirt is ticket number 305245. Whoever gets to Issa first gets his shirt. Draw another one. Okay. 305236. 5237. Bev. Winning a hoodie and a hat is 5257. And winning a limited edition crew neck and a signed picture book is 5239. Anybody? Okay. 5244. Oh, you didn't have. Brooke, would you like the crew neck and the... Okay. And now I'd like to welcome up our members of our race team for a short Q&A panel. Okay, panelists, please introduce yourselves and tell us your position on the race, as well as your year in major.
Hi, everyone.
Make sure your microphones are on, please. I forgot to turn them on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Selis Yaltkaya. I'll be the crew chief in this race, and I'm a mechanical engineering major, and I'm a rising junior.
Hello, everyone. My name's Nafi Osmani. I'll be a rising junior in electrical engineering, and I'm this year's support chief.
Hello, my name is Clark Taylor. I'm a rising sophomore in computer engineering, and I'll be driving Brizo this year.
Hi, I'm Christopher Shu. I'm going to be also a rising sophomore in electrical engineering, and I'm the strategy and telemetry lead.
All right, I'd like to open it up first to our in-person audience if we have any questions. Oh, Professor Makala?
If I get to ask a question, it's, turn the tables. So as you look forward to the next couple of weeks and the race, I assume you've sort of mapped out how you hope the race to go. Is there a particular aspect or a particular part of the race course that you are concerned about?
So we've been having strategy meetings every week to plan out how are we gonna run through various parts of the route, because the entire route is published and the route book is published. So our strategy lead, Chris, probably has something to say about it too, but we mapped out the elevation of the route and the loops, and we've been deciding how many loops we'll be doing, which speed will we be targeting in various parts of the route, because it's very important for us to save our energy because this route has a mountain area that we need to pass. And in order to pass those elevations, we need to save up our energy or drive faster in other places. So we devised a strategy to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah, and also about the hill. Just 2 weeks ago, we went on a drive day, and one of the purposes of that was to gather data on how the car would drive on very steep hills. And it seems that Brizo has been doing really well on these hills, and it's the data would also help us determine how to drive that hill efficiently.
Thank you. Did you have a question?
Sure, I was curious if you've ever gotten in the solar car, a speeding ticket or an accident.
Nafi, would you like to answer this question?
I was also a member of the 2021 American Solar Challenge electrical pit crew. I must say that I was pulled over 2 times, but I was, given off a warning each time, so nothing actually came to fruition. So I'm still able to drive this year.
As per our solar car, during the last year, during the American Solar Challenge portion, while we were driving on a highway, what we figured out is what we think is other semis reported us for going a bit too slow on the highway, which was a part of our strategy. We were saving up our energy, but apparently it was too slow. So a cop pulled the solar car over and asked for license and registration for the solar car. We had to open our canopy and talk with the police officer. So that's the only incident we have with the police, I think, with the solar car.
Are there more audience questions before I open it up to the live stream? Yes, in the back. So the question for those who couldn't hear was, we mentioned we practiced on hills. Where are these hills in central Illinois?
Yes, so 2 weeks ago, we looked at just elevation maps of everything that we could reach to in a 2-hour range. And there are a tiny bit in near the border with Indiana. So there's this river gulch, and the hill there is very short. It's not comparable to what's on the race, but the slope grade is actually pretty similar. So we can test it on a short portion of the slope, and hopefully that is enough for us to determine if the car can go up a slope of that elevation, that slope grade, not necessarily the length or height of the hill.
Thank you. We actually have a question from our live stream. Who are you looking to rival this year?
I think I can say that, of course, the podium finishers with us in the last American Solar Challenge will be our top competitors. If we can name them, MIT, Kentucky, and Principia will probably be our top competitors. And we heard that UC Berkeley is bringing a new car. We're very excited to see it, and that might be a top competitor as well. And we are very excited to compete with these teams.
Thank you. Any questions from the crowd? Yes, Bev. Yes, thank you. So the question was, how long do the drivers drive Brizo before they're required to take a break?
So yeah, according to regulations, you can drive for 4 hours at a time, and it's a 9-hour drive day, and I believe you can drive for 6 hours total in the day. So you could drive 4, take a break, then come back and drive some more in the evening.
Thank you. We have another question from online. What do you wish to gain out of the competition as a team? Let's go down the line with this question.
I think competition is a place to be, that you learn quick decision-making skills, especially as the crew chief. We'll be devising and changing our strategy probably very regularly because it will be based on weather conditions or maybe unexpected conditions, hopefully not, during the race. So we gotta make very quick decisions. The crew chief and the race team captain swipes position as the person who sits right behind Brizo and constantly watches Brizo. So if you notice something wrong, and you will constantly keep in communication with Brizo, you notice something wrong, you gotta decide whether to pull over or whether to continue, and that's going to affect the whole course of the race. So I definitely expect to gain confidence and quick decision-making skills from this. Also, there might be some technical problems that might occur. It looks like it won't, but it might. You never know. And hopefully I will gain some technical troubleshooting skills out of those.
Out of this race, definitely looking forward to all the knowledge and experience we'll get from applying stuff that we've learned from our classes and from the past couple of weeks from working on the car. We're all looking forward to making the jump to Australia in 2023, and we hope that we'll definitely take what we learn and gain from this race and apply it towards Australia and do our best in the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge 2023.
Yeah, we're working on our technical skills year round, and I think this is a good way where we're finally, evaluating it in a high stress situation. The pressure's on, and we're gonna see how we perform. And I think this is also really good preparation for going to Australia in a few years, because I'm a freshman, this is my first time going on a race, and having been able to go on a race before then, I think will be very valuable for that.
Yeah, like Clark, I'm also a freshman. I've never been on a race like this, and it's just exciting to see, experience what all the other members have been talking about this entire time.
Thank you all for that. Do we have any more questions from the crowd? How do you get money to build the solar car?
None of us are in the business team in this panel, but I can say that we have our university, the electrical and computer engineering department behind us, constantly supporting us, and we have various sponsors that generously offered their help to us. Our business team and actually all of us in the team constantly try to find companies that will be willing to help us students to develop these solar cars. And we constantly contact these companies. Even I, being in the mechanical team, send so many sponsorship emails. Half of them doesn't get returned. I don't get a reply. But maybe out of some of those, you gain a little something. And all of us add those little somethings together, and then we end up with enough money to be able to build this solar car.
Thank you. We have time for a couple more questions. If anybody in the crowd has any. All right, I've got a question for the panel. What is your favorite memory from Illini Solar Car?
My favorite memory is from last year's race. During Formula Sun, when you're racing on the track, before you begin the race, there's a 4-day scrutineering period where various engineers that are professionals in their field take a look on various aspects of your car, and they decide if your car is going to be able to race or not. And it's such a detailed process, so you also gotta be very knowledgeable on your car. You gotta prepare for it beforehand. And last year's race, when we passed all the stations in scrutineering, I was of course very tired because you gotta constantly service your car in order to show various stuff. I was very tired. It was very hot in Topeka, Kansas. And then the support team showed up with ice creams and Mountain Dew. And that was such a fond memory for me. It was really refreshing.
One of my favorite memories has to be seeing Brizo drive for one of the first times on the road in convoy. Driving behind Brizo and seeing something that I've worked on and that all of us worked on actually functioning and driving on public roads and highways was one of the most rewarding moments in my college career so far. And that's something that I think I'll always remember as last spring, last summer.
So I don't have any memories from a race yet because I haven't gone on it, but definitely we're putting in a lot of work at our garage. We're working long days, 14-hour days, and after one of these days, we pulled our charcoal grill out of our garage into the parking lot, and we threw on 2 tomahawk steaks and like 12 baked potatoes, and we had a good dinner after that day.
Yeah, I also have not been on a race, but actually a good memory from one of the mock races we've done for practice was just the sheer chaos of like packing everything into a small car. Like the back seat would have like binders of like the maps and telemetry equipment, and it's fun just navigating all of so many things going on at the same time.
We have another submitted question. What's something valuable that you've learned this summer preparing Brizo?
Does anyone else know?
Time management. I'm not working a summer job. I'm literally staying on campus to work on the car, but it's still, hard to plan it out, I guess, because we have different workspaces. We have Open Lab, we have LinView, our garage, and getting back and forth for me, I don't have a car, so taking the bus, that's, a trip, and I guess finding the time to sort of coordinate.
I learned so much more knowledge on brake calipers and the general brake system, trying to increase the efficiency, like the contribution to the efficiency of our brake systems. Yeah, hope what I learned will come in handy during the race.
Yes.
Since you brought it up, what is the brake system like? Is it
Okay, so we have two separate brake systems. In order to pass the regulations, you need to have a mechanical brake system that is composed of two separate brake systems, and you can also have a regenerative braking system. For our mechanical brakes, we have a hydraulic brake system with separate master cylinders for the front and rear wheels. And we also have a parking brake that is completely separate than these. And also, we have regenerative braking in our integrated in the system of our car. And yeah, we try to gain more efficiency by our navigators, for example, scout out the stoplights. So our drivers sometimes arrive to the stoplight but with no mechanical brakes, but just with regenerative braking. So getting that energy back to our battery. We only try to use the mechanical brakes when the car has reached a 0 mile per hour speed, and then we just hold the car in place with the mechanical brakes. So the mechanical brakes try to take as less energy as possible from the rotor.
Yes.
Good, and I had another one. You mentioned the caravan.
For the people on the live stream, Professor Sauer asked how many people go on the race and how many cars do we bring?
Sure thing. So in the Solar Car caravan, or main convoy that we call it, that is protecting Brizo, we have a lead car and a chase car. Lead car is in front of Brizo. Chase car is right behind Brizo always, making sure that Brizo is always protected from behind. But we also have a lot of support vehicles that help manage the logistics and also help make the race run better. And we have a scout car, which Salis mentions helps scout out the route and give any updates to the main convoy so that they're not surprised by anything on the road. We also have a media car dedicated to our social media and media experts that are help document and record, take pictures of the race. And we also have our truck and trailer and our support car, which is helping manage the campsite, making sure all our team members are okay, and make sure that we have some place to sleep and something to eat during the day.
How do you feed that many people on the race?
That's a great question, Jared. So, support chief, that's one of my responsibilities. And honestly, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm not a great cook at all. Probably one of the worst on the team. So managing food for myself is already difficult. Managing it for 27 people will definitely be a challenge. But it's something that I am definitely going to lean on my support crew to help me with. And it's something that we have a plan and game plan to tackle for.
All right, we have time for probably one or two more questions. Anything in the crowd? All right. We have another submitted question. How much does it cost to build a solar car? Anybody can answer.
Yeah. So roughly to build Brizo, don't get mad at me, Tara. I think it was $400,000 to build the entire car, so all the money we spent on Brizo.
Thank you for that. And on that note, we're gonna end our Q&A panel. Thank you all for coming. Make sure to grab cookies on your way out. Make sure you bring at least a couple stickers. We also have more postcards. If you want our raffle, please see me at the front to claim your prizes.